Okay guys, here I have my wormwood, which I am so glad I'm finally getting established on our property here. Forgive the rooster, he's fussing because the goat is around his hen, and the goat's frustrated because they're around his bed. So all that hollering, that's what's going on. Anyway, let me get back to my wormwood. My wormwood here, the main reason I use this is for dewormer. I use it as a powder form for that. I dry it out and add it to my other herbs that I use as my dewormers. It's really good for pinworms as well as roundworms. Those two particulars what they target. It's also good for fevers and infections. It's antimicrobial, therefore, it kills out a lot of different types of bacteria and stuff as well. And it's good for your digestive system because it is a bitter, and therefore, it's going to help do some detoxing and do some work on your digestive system. It's good if you lack gastric juices. It helps with that to build that back up in your body, and also good for gas if you have gas. So this is, like I said, wormwood. It's a must-have for me on my property. It's just something I have to have. And I hope you can see it good enough. It's kind of morning here, so it's kind of a little bit closed in. Spread it out a little bit for you there. It's got a silvery look to it. It's actually pretty in landscaping, I think, to me. It's just natural looking. So, wormwood. Out doing some foraging. Looky what I found. Oh, Mr. Turtle. Oh, Mr. Turtle, you gonna move, mommy? I know I'm gonna hide, woman. I wanted to bring you to see something. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? This is May apples. They are poisonous. They say you can eat the fruit after it gets completely ripe, but I wouldn't take no chances on eating it. But I have moved some of it for landscaping purposes in my shade garden. That's what I've been doing. Beautiful, huh? May apple. Shoot, slide off.
I had to hold the rubber band on the side of mine. You hold the rubber band?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. Yes, okay.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry.
I don't like that.
Okay. I'm gonna give you extra molasses this evening. Okay. Let's see what you do. You okay? Leah wants him. She's like, you're eating something. He's riding with me. He rides good. She's catching bugs. Bless her heart. I hope that fox don't find her. A wild turkey out here. I think it's probably the same one that came and nested last year. She walking down the driveway. Hey guys, it's time for Remember When again. I want to thank you guys again for all your comments. I've really been enjoying your comments, and it brings a lot of joy to me whenever I hear that it's bringing joy to you guys. It's almost like I can feel or see your smiles in your comments, and that really brings a lot of joy to me knowing that it's doing that for you guys. So I thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's get into this today. Today I got to thinking about Dippity-Doo. Dippity-Doo, if you remember, was the gel that we put in hair. Whenever I was in beauty school, we had to do these state board sets, and we'd always use the cheapest Dippity-Doo that we could get on those state board sets because it was on our dummies. And then when you try to rake it out of their hair after it's set, it was almost like you was going to pull your dummy off the counter because it was so stiff. And I still had little ladies that wanted that used in their hair after that. And I even used it myself for that matter. But it's just cool to think about those things that, actually, I think you might be able to still find that. I'm not sure, but I think at least something similar to it. And I seen a vehicle the other day, and it was, you know, the ones with the long front seat. And my daddy had a Chrysler, I don't remember what exactly it was, but it was a Chrysler. We were big into Dodge and Chrysler growing up, and Daddy still is for that matter. And we had the long front seats, and I remember us going to church in that vehicle, and we was all piled in there in those long seats in the front and the back, and we fit. You could easily get 8 people in a car like that. You know, I mean, kids, speaking of kids and stuff, and people that, you know, not overly big, but anyway, and that made me think about how we had the crank windows, which we still have a vehicle that's got crank windows, and they don't bother me any, but it is nice having the button to do your window as well. And ashtrays. You don't see ashtrays and something else. Actually, my husband, well, that ain't sitting here now, we were cleaning out a vehicle the other day, and it had one of the snaps for the cigarette lighter. And you know, they don't put those in cars anymore. I didn't realize that, but he was talking about, he said, you might want to keep that. They make that place there for you, but now it's used for your cell phone jack thing. But you can actually put that in there too and get it to do a fire if you needed a fire for something. So that's just, you wouldn't think that would be something out of the way, which we don't smoke or nothing like that, but you know, I don't know, it's just kind of cool to have, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, and the ashtrays. Remember how the ashtrays is in the doors and stuff like that? And even in the front console, for that matter. Dash, I mean. And even in the center console. Yeah, they had them in the center console too. So those are things to remember that you don't see anymore. It's kind of weird to think about. And I'll leave this one as the last one. But remember Trax? T-R-A-X tennis shoes. They were blue and had the 3 or 4 stripes down the side of them. Well, I've got a little story about that. I had gotten some new tennis shoes. Well, they weren't Trax tennis shoes. We couldn't necessarily afford to get the Trax tennis shoes, but these were knockoff Trax tennis shoes. So I was so proud of my shoes, and it was the first day I was going to get to wear them to school. And we go out, and we're standing there waiting on the school bus. Well, next thing I know, we see cattle out. So here we had to run and get the cattle up. And our bus driver came down through there, and he seen what we were doing, so he stopped for us. He was kind of, you know, back then your bus driver knew you, and everybody kind of helped each other. So he gets out of the bus, actually, and sees if he could do anything, which we were about to get them rounded up good by then, so he didn't have to. So we started walking back to the bus. And I looked down, and I had stepped in cow manure. And my shoe, my brand new shoe, the first day I was going to wear them to school, was messy. And you could see on my bus driver's face, his name was Mr. Barlow. I remember he was a super sweet bus driver. He could tell that I was discouraged over my tennis shoes, that I had new tennis shoes. I mean, you could tell they were new tennis shoes, you know. And so he got paper towels and stuff out of the bus and was trying to help me wipe my shoes off before I got on the bus. But it was super sweet to think about. But anyway, those Trax tennis shoes, I thought I was the stuff in them shoes, even though they weren't the real deal. But, oh well. Anyways, God bless you guys. I love you guys. I will talk to you later. And till next time.